Welcome, leadership development and competency management.
Pardon me. Sorry. The recording in progress coincided with your submission.
Okay.
May I know who activates the recording, please?
That will be from the ICD Directorate, Prof.
So is it automated?
No, I think there is someone controlling that.
Yes, and I would want to know the person. This is the third time this is happening. I would want just to know the person.
Okay, Prof. I would inquire and then get the details for you.
When will that be?
While the class is ongoing.
All right. I would want to know the person, that's all. And not that I'll continue using it. Yes, so wisdom. The recording in progress coincided with the response to my question. So if you can please confirm.
Okay. So, Prof, what we can see on the screen says, welcome, leadership development and competency management.
Yes,
And
please.
so we don't know what the exact topic is.
The exact topic is leadership development and competency management. I don't know. Do you have the model descriptor? Am I right? I shared it with, I've given you the slides, the first one.
Yes.
I think it's just last week's and this week, today's that I am yet to share with you. That was the message I received. Is that correct?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, so if you go to
1, 2, 3.
Pardon me.
I'm saying we've received the slides 1, 2, and then 3.
Okay, but you don't have the model
Wisdom, please, no.
You were
yes,
not
we don't
given.
have the model descriptor, Prof.
Wow, because I thought you have it. It gives you the background, but at least the first day I shared the background and everything. So kindly let I think I know Miriam, I can see your hand up.
Madam, please, I want to correct Wisdom with what he said. As you rightly said, we only have the session 1, session 2. We don't have the session 3. Session 3 was done last week. So we are yet to get the session 3 slides.
And also
he mentioned to you we have that of 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
No problem. Welcome. So I know it's last week and this week's that I'm yet to, but the main question was the model descriptor so that you could get an idea about the topics that we are treating. So I think I shared that the very first time we met, but since you do not have it, I would want to run you through, and then at the end of the session, I think it is Alicia who I've been sending the slides to. She would also she will let me know what to add. Okay. Just a minute whilst I get the model, the topics that we are treating to you. Okay. Okay, so if you can see my screen, this is what we are doing. We've done the first one, the theories, and then we looked at the trait theories. We've done the leadership behavior. We've done the strategic leadership practices. So you have the slides for the theories and then the practices. I'm yet to give you that of the behaviors and then leadership development and competency management that we are doing today. So next week we are going to do the EI and then we'll do the personality and leadership on the day that we'll do face-to-face. So it has been confirmed that we haven't done the leadership development and competency management. Okay. So we can start from what we already know and then build on from there. So when we talk about leadership, we have an idea about it, what it entails. When we talk about development, any idea about what it is? Can you confirm you can hear me?
Yes, Prof, we can hear you now.
Okay. So it appears today you want me to do proper lecturing. So, but then we can go ahead with it. So,
Prof.
any idea? Yes, Frederick.
Okay, so you asked if we have any idea about development, what it means.
Yes.
I'd like to put this across. So I'll say that development refers to the act or process of positive growth, progress, or achievement. That's how I understand it. No.
Very good point. Positive growth. What were the other variables you talked about?
Progress and achievement. Yeah.
Progress. Okay, and achievements. Thank you very much. Any other? That's Frederick Esiama, right?
Yes, Prof.
Yes. Yes, please, let's proceed. Please. Miriam.
Thank you, Prof. Please, I also say it's a gradual growth or formation of something, a gradual growth or formation of something.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So we
Thank
continue from there. We normally talk about training and development. Any idea about the difference? Training and development. As students of human resource management, these are the things that will differentiate you between those in the other professions and HR. Wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. So training has to do with a short-term approach where the personnel or the employees are given a specific training or a specific upbringing on a certain capabilities, whereas development is a long-term process, of helping them to grow in a specific area.
Okay, thank you very much. So wisdom has differentiated. Naomi and Robert, when I'm done, then you come in, please. Wisdom has differentiated training and development in terms of how long it takes. Training, a short-term, development, long-term oriented. Naomi.
Yes, Prof. Please, we say that training and development are a bit related,
Okay.
but they serve a different purpose in human resource management.
Okay.
So with training, it focuses on improving skills and knowledge for a current job.
Okay.
And it's also short term.
Okay.
And also job oriented. So it's
Also,
basically job oriented.
Okay.
And it's basically designed for employees at all levels. Whilst development focuses on overall growth and preparation for future roles. And it's also long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So you have also tried to differentiate it in relation to the job that is being done, where training is more job specific. So you are a receptionist, and so you are being trained to acquire skills that are specific to what your role, your current role. While development, it's about it looks at a holistic perspective. So for us today, you realize that what you do today has an effect on what you will do in future. So development somehow incorporates the training. So training can be a subset of development. The main difference is that the development looks at different facets or aspects of the individual, including what the person is currently doing. But training is more specific. For want of time, we will proceed and then we will talk about each later. So I think it was Frederick who spoke about the fact that growth, progress, among others. So we are expanding the person's capacity to be an effective in his leadership role. And this is way how many years ago, but it's very, very relevant. It's not just about the current, but everything about the person to help him be an effective leader. The role, the processes, and everything. Again, it's about enhancing, meaning the person already has something. So we are enhancing the capacity, back to capacity, as Macaulay and his friends said. Day 2022 is saying same. Expanding the capacity of a collective individual to engage in leadership. So you are trying to work so that you'll be able to affect the team you are working with properly. A process of enhancing the skills, enhancing the knowledge, enhancing the abilities of individual. And since we are looking at leadership development, the idea is, what am I doing to be effective so far as leadership is concerned? Now, I would want you to know that it is a deliberate and a continuous process. It is not a one-off activity. No, it is continuous. And the whole idea is to enhance the person's capacity and to ensure that the person becomes better than who he is or what he does. So leadership development is a process. It is a deliberate process, and it goes through a process. So first of all, I need to identify my potentials. So that is the first fundamental step to take if you want to look at the leader's development. It's only when you know where you are coming from that you can build on it to get to where you want to get to. It's important to know that it is not everybody who has the basic skills, the basic competency, the basic what. So it's important to know what the person has. And this can be identified through different ways. So I'm coming to you. If I want to know what somebody has, remember the whole idea is to expand the person's capacity to be effective. So now I want to get to know of what the person already has, identify the person's potential. How can this be done? I have 18 people in class. How can this be done? Wisdom.
Prof, this can be done by first identifying the person's behavioral traits. Because we learn that there are certain traits that a leader should have. They should have the technical competencies, have some behavioral competencies, and the managerial competencies. So once you're able to assess, to identify these, then you are able to.
5 Nobel Awards. Marie won 2, and her husband, son-in-law, and daughter each received 1. His family clearly had the winning formula.
Wisdom, there's a noise in the background. I don't know
Yes,
if
Prof.
it's for us.
No, I'm trying to get rid of that.
Okay.
Sorry. So yes, Prof,
That's
I was
okay.
saying that to identify that you need to assess and then assess the person's behavioral traits. We talked about some of the traits, and then competencies that a leader should have. So talking about the technical, behavioral, and the managerial, with some of the traits also being intelligence, self-confidence, integrity, and sociability. So once you're able to find these in a person, then you know the person have what it takes to be a leader,
Okay.
has the potential to be a leader.
Okay. And then at least you know what the person has. Remember, we want to develop the person. We want to expand his capacity. So we should know what he already has. Then based on that, we can move on with it. So as Wisdom rightly said, we want to identify. How would we identify? You can ask questions. You can seek for feedback. And we talk about the 360-degree feedback, which I'm assuming everybody has an idea about what it is. Can I make that assumption? Okay, anyone to help us? We are saying one of the effective methods to identify leadership potential is through the 360-degree feedback. And my question is, what is it? What is the 360-degree feedback? Ayuba. Wisdom, I acknowledge you. I want to know if Ayuba is in class. Frederick, I acknowledge you. Thank you.
Hello.
Who is the IT officer? Who has his gadget labeled IT
Hello.
officer? Hello.
Hello.
I kindly rename your gadget. Frederick.
Yes, ma.
Yes, please go ahead. When you are done, then Wisdom comes in if needed.
Okay, so I will say that the 360-degree feedback is a performance appraisal method that is used to collect confidential, anonymous evaluations of an employee from all around them, like the supervisor, the PS, and the direct reports about them.
All right. So you restricted it to performance appraiser. I've marked you absent already, but I'll allow you in. But aside the performance appraisal, it can be used for other things. And I'm sure by the time people are done with their submission, we will get everything together. Wisdom.
Thank you, Prof. So 360 feedback is, we can term it as an evaluation process or feedback process where which involves not only the employee, but all the people, if I should say the stakeholders that the employee works with, which has to do with, as mentioned by Fred, the supervisor, the team members, in some instances, the subordinates, and
Okay.
probably clients or customers or vendors who are directly involved with a person. And it's also the other way around where they are also able to give the person feedback on how he or she actually does his work or performs in a certain way. It's actually is good in a sense that it sort of prevents bias in a way, because you're able to get an all-round view from different perspective about how the person performs or does his things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You've added the advantages of it where you are getting everything from different people. Ahinakwa, did I see Ahinakwa's
Yes,
hand up?
yes, madam. Yes, madam. So it's the kind of feedback that it's not the common type of feedback where just one person appraises you. So it is such that different people from different places, it could be a trickle down effect from the top to the bottom and then from the bottom to the top. I mean, it's kind of like a unilateral kind of thing. Now, you have so many people coming together to tell you the different parts of you, not just even one person telling you different things about you, but you get different people assessing you in different ways and appraising you in different ways collectively, and then that comes together to form the perception or what you're actually about or your potential, so to speak.
Okay. Thank you very much. Miriam, are you back? Come back to you if you put up your hand again. But I'll
Thank you,
take
madam.
Miriam and then we move on. Yes.
Please, I wanted to find now if when we talk about 360 degree feedback, it involves all stakeholders in terms of both internal and external. I wanted to find out.
All right.
So the external becomes like the customers, the suppliers, the vendors, and then the internal, I'm referring to all team members involved in the particular job. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miriam. Ayuba, I'll let you in, but to answer Miriam's question, I'm going to ask a question. That is the typical Ghanaian for you. So, assuming you want to get information to develop Theresa, and you all know who Theresa is, and as it has been indicated already by Wisdom and among Wisdom, Asiama, Frederick, and Ahinakwa, we are getting information from everybody. Okay. So if we are taking Theresa, who and who do you think you can get information from? We want to develop Theresa. Who and who? Specific people I need. Okay. Or specific categories of individuals. Wisdom.
Thank you, Prof. So would us, knowing that Theresa is a lecturer at GCTU, we would ask colleague lecturers, we would ask the head of department, We would ask the administrative staff who are not directly involved with Theresa. We would ask the students who are sort of the beneficiaries of her work. We would ask if there are any clients or people that work with her in terms of the delivery of her work. If I should say, maybe the IT people, maybe an IT vendor who works directly with her, if she is in charge of maybe ICD, for example. Yes, we would ask all those people.
Okay. Are we likely, Theresa is head of department, are we likely to maybe talk to a parent who has ever come to the school to make some inquiries?
Yes, Prof.
Sure.
We are, depending on the
Okay.
objective of the feedback.
Sure. Yes, we want to develop Theresa. Theresa, the head of department, the lecturer, the acting dean, one person in all these roles. So that's what we are looking at. Are we likely to talk to the cleaners in the university?
Definitely,
Yes,
Prof.
Prof.
Sure.
Security, cleaners, drivers.
Security, everybody. Thank you. Ayuba,
Yeah,
I
Prof.
can see your hand up. We are trying to answer
Yes.
Miriam's question. Miriam, are you getting an answer to your question?
Very well, please. Thank you.
Yes,
So
I
what
wanted
is
to add. I wanted to add by saying that we can equally use appraisal forms and reports from the office, which is done
okay?
without the knowledge of Theresa. And
Okay.
also, when given the opportunity, we can talk to Theresa herself before using the top-down approach to gather information about her.
All right. In fact,
My
the
network is a bit disturbing,
360
that's why.
degree, just to make a point, the 360 degree is not a top-down approach, right?
Okay.
If you 360 all-round approach. So both, as we have been talking about, both the subordinates, the superiors, everybody Theresa deals with. So if we are talking to a parent, the parent is not top, neither is he down, right? Okay. Mariam, when I'm done, I'll ask you to answer the question clearly. So I'll allow Baba Lawani in. Baba.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
Thank you, Prof. Please, I wanted to find out if it's possible for them to also make the employee complete something like a self-assessment form, just to compare their perception of themselves with the view of others too.
Okay. Yes, that can be done depending on what you are looking for. So you can still allow the person to do a self-assessment and then gather the data from other people, and then you can confirm that Theresa really knows who she is or where she is. Now we are looking at developing Theresa. Theresa really knows where she is, and so she would agree to the content of the training program that we are going to offer. Okay. Ahinakwa, you'll be the last person on this. Please proceed.
Yes, madam. I wanted to help. I wanted to buttress something that you said with response to Ayuba's question. And so the 360, the 360 is supposed to came in to eradicate that traditional way of appraising, which is like a vertical. So when he was saying from maybe top to the bottom, you corrected it. I'm just trying to add that it actually erases the traditional appraisal, which is the vertical type of way of appraising things. Example, usually boss to the subordinates, and then probably usually in the area in which they are, there are so many other people there. He has colleagues, he has mates and all that. But say the boss might, let's say if there's maybe a promotion, and then the boss is just the one directly appraising him. that is like that vertical way of doing it. And that's kind of like a traditional thing. It's the old ways of doing things. In this modern or contemporary time, what the 360 is doing is eradicating that top-down type of appraisal, which is the vertical type of appraisal, and then making it all round instead. So I'm just adding something to what you said. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Ahinakwa, for adding to it. And as I keep saying, another add, another subtract, and we get it very well. So yes, 360, we need both the internal and external. So we get all relevant information about the person to make a decision, because somebody from outside comes and then Theresa wasn't appealing, right? That person, the external person, would give that information, and based on that, the relevant, well-detailed, tailored program would be designed to meet the specific needs of the individual and the employee, which is the second thing in the leadership development process. So once potential leaders have been identified and their needs are identified, a well-structured program is designed for the person, which is usually a mix of theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. So you can adopt that, what we talk about as why is this thing not moving? Good. We can talk about the 7-20-10 learning model, depending on the category of people you are looking at, where this framework of for learning and development suggests that individuals acquire knowledge and skills through three major sources. The first being experiential, where the person does it, or being the social learning, where it's based on mentoring, or being actual training program, that's the 10%. So you design the training, and then when you are done, you implement the program. And it's very important that you plan it very well, because in the planning, you are looking at all the resources that you need: the facilitator, the environment, the resources, any other that will be required. Provision should be made for it to ensure that the participants benefit from the training program. Remember, we have said that it is through our training that we end up developing the people. What we are doing, is it only job specific? If it's job specific, then it becomes training. If it's a holistic something that will be useful in the future, then we are looking at the development. So now, I know people will be tempted to do a virtual, ask AI for this, but I wish you don't do that. Just use your natural and then critique and then come up with it. So we're saying that in the implementation of the program that you have identified and designed so well to meet the person's developmental needs, you can use different activities where you can use a workshop, you can use seminars, you can use case studies, you can do role play exercise. All these are means by which it can be implemented, whatever you have decided to do. And it can be an in-house training, or you can partner with external people to provide the training. My question to you is, what advantages do you have if people can share experience, practical experience of an in-house training and the advantage they think they had instead of taking it outside the organization, and where external resources or external facilitators are used. What will be the advantage of in-house training sessions? If I can get about 4, then we can proceed from there. Wisdom, thank you.
Okay,
When you
thank
are
you,
done,
Prof.
Miriam will come in and then Esther will take place. Thank you. Please go ahead
Okay,
in
so
that order.
I'll give a practical example, and
Yes, please.
in there, the advantage is it saves cost, or it saves cost in terms of resources, and the disadvantage was loss of focus or concentration. We had a training, and they had 2 options: either I go outside or I do it online. And management preferred to do it online because they wouldn't have to pay per diem where you have to travel out, fuel cost and feeding cost. But being in the office and undertaking the training, there were a lot of distractions. Because I was in the office, people barely, gave me that space to undertake the training. Everybody would come,
Treat.
help me with this, do that. At the end of the day, I wasn't able to assimilate quite effectively what I would have if I was solely focused on the training and probably having that done outside.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. A very good and practical example. Miriam, then Esther, then Atlas will be the last. Or Miriam has.
Yes, I've lowered my hands because I was also going to touch on the bit of the cost and then the
Mhm.
disadvantage where there were distractors, where I couldn't even absorb whatever was being taught. The distractions were too much. And then
Okay.
the advantage is like it saves costs where you are not to travel to the required location that is given, but you are doing it within the organization.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So, thank you. As before the others come in, the next question will be very simple one. Why would you, as an HR person, recommend in-house training rather than taking it out of the organization? Why would you make that recommendation? So I'll take as brief as people can be, and then we'll go to that second question. So Esther, Alice, and Robert.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Esther.
So I would use my end as an example. I tried an in-house training. I mean, it's something that I do all the time to teach them some new menus and all. But then I realized that familiarity kind of comes in
Okay.
because they are always with you.
Mhm.
In a way, it's a bit comfortable because you tend to
Mhm.
know each other person's weakness or what they can do or what they can't do. But then I
Mhm.
realized that they are too familiar with me. So
Mhm.
the seriousness in a way is not that high. So the other time, like Wisdom said, it's cost effective though, but then you get results. So I
Mhm.
had to pay somebody from outside to come in to teach us some few other things. And I realized that after the practical sessions, anytime we are preparing that kind of meal, you hear one or two go like, the auntie Benis can't see any say. So even though there's cost, I think that you can weigh the pros and cons and then choose which one. And I think that when it comes to some of these in-house training, it would depend on what you're looking for. If it's something that you think the advantage far outweighs the disadvantage, you can bear the cost, pay for it, and then do an external person.
Now, where do you work?
No, please, I'm actually a nurse, but then I now cook on the side. So I have a small eatery at the Bush Canteen.
That's good. Great. Alice, as brief as you can, and then Robert comes in. All right. Let's move to Robert then.
All right, thank you, Prof. T. So mine is similar to what Esther just said, whereby in-house training breeds familiarity, and then there may be distractions or people tend not to give their best in terms of paying attention. So there was a workshop within our organization. So we're having like an anniversary workshop whereby we're supposed to have a training, but then it was either to be within our department or move to the head office to have the training, and then it will be an in-house person within our department to take the training or chair the training. So we suggested that we move to the head office because we're always in the department 24/7. So we felt like, in as much as we are having the same person within our department facilitating the training, moving to a different space would enhance our contribution, or maybe us being able to concentrate and then absorb whatever the training intends to give us. So I believe that in as much as we are doing in-house training, maybe a change of environment as well helps with that, without even having to spend or make expenses on it. Thank you.
Thank you. So you've answered part of the question I asked. Why would you recommend in-house training? So people will have a different environment to experience what is being shared. And anyone else to add on? Why will you recommend in-house training? Yes, Wisdom.
Prof, you would recommend an in-house training where you have the personnel in the organization that have the knowledge, the skills, and the capabilities to undertake such training.
Very good. Very good. A very good answer. Thank you, Wisdom. Esther.
Okay, so Prof, I think that you can recommend an in-house training depending on what you're doing. Let me cite an example. Like with the medical field, let's say that you want to do a training and you need to do some stimulation exercises. When you do an external one and you don't have the appropriate environment, it won't be effective. So I think that depends on what you're doing.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much. Miriam.
Prof, I wanted to add
Yeah.
a little to it. One thing is that when you do an in-house training, you are able to express yourself if you are not getting things right. Unlike going to
Alice.
Hello, Prof.
Yes. My question is, why would you recommend in-house training? We've gone past the advantages and disadvantages. So why would you recommend? Please process the question properly. Miriam.
Okay, Madam, please. I also say that due to confidentiality. What do I mean by this?
So Miriam will recommend in-house when there's the need for high-level confidentiality.
Yes, please.
So the same points can be used as the advantages, but not all the advantages can help answer those questions. So you need to process it properly and present it appropriately. Miriam, please go ahead.
Okay, so the reason I said confidentiality is that more sensitive company information can be discussed openly without risks of leaking it to outsiders.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The last one, Ehinakwa.
Okay, madam. So we talking about knowledge retention here. So to make, let's say, us unique as a company, I will encourage the in-house training because we have knowledgeable people in the house. Let's say the older people, older management. Now we want to retain that kind of knowledge. Now, if we have an external person even come and do this, but they'll take the knowledge away. If we have our own people nurturing this kind of knowledge and it's in them, we have the knowledge base in our company. It doesn't go anywhere. So it's like it's refreshing us every time. So we need knowledge retention. Yes.
Okay. All right. That's very good. I promise to use Ahinakwa as the last. Rosemary. Unfortunately, Baba, I will let you in another time. Rosemary.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, Rosemary.
Please, I think when you ask senior employee or high performance to lead internal training, you are recognizing their expertise.
Okay, so hold on. Hold on, Rosemary. Right. So why would you use in-house training? Now answer the question. Anyone to reframe what Rosemary was saying to address the question?
It adds a powerful non-monetary reward and or I may say a professional development opportunity.
Okay, AI is giving you the answer, but you are not able to explain it properly. The point is, I'm using it I'll use it when I want to recognize the people in there, right? Then you proceed and you add on. If you ask AI, this is how AI will give it to you, but it will not address, AI will always talk about the advantages. But remember, why am I doing that? Because I'm doing that because I want to recognize the worth of it. And in recognition is a form of intrinsic motivation. So my reason for doing it is maybe I'm doing it just to motivate the people intrinsically, right? Because I have the opportunity to recognize them, their words, give them the opportunity to share their knowledge. So in as much as AI is giving you the answers, refer to the way the question was put so that you can tweak it properly to answer the question appropriately. And this submission is to all of you and not only Rosemary. All right. So when we are
Prof,
done.
Please, I wasn't done when you asked the second question. So what exactly I want to say is, the other hand, when we bring in the external facilitators, I think that side is also advantageous because sometimes when you bring the internal person, there are some of the challenges that we face or some negative things that we might feel like addressing right there, but because we are all employees in that organization, you will not be able to come out with certain things because you are afraid maybe if I make this submission later it could be used against me. But when we meet the outside facilitators, we openly come out with whatever challenges we have and then we address them. Even if we cannot go back and then utilize them, at least we find solution to some of our problems. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I can see Yolanda has presented something, and Rosemary, I think you were not in here with us. We are actually we are done with advantages. We didn't discuss the disadvantage. Good, you have added the disadvantage. Sorry, you've added the disadvantage to it, and then the why answer has been provided. So when we are done with the implementation, where we can decide to do in-house, where we have discussed a number of advantages.
Hello, Prof. Please, you're muted.
Hi. What happened? Okay. So when we are done with the implementation, then Wisdom, thank you. When we are done with the implementation, then we need to evaluate. And this is a common model, the Kirkpatrick model. It's used in evaluating. But usually, in most processes, we talk about evaluation at the end of the process. Do you agree that evaluation should be at the end of the process or at other stages in the process? Miriam.
I agree it comes to the end part of the session because it's the evaluation that enables you to get the feedback and then know the actions to take place if in case your feedback was positive, what you're going to do to maintain and do it and keep it up, and if it is negative, to what you're going to do to enable you to do better the next time. So I will agree that evaluation should probably be the last bit of it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will allow Wisdom and then Baba. Let me hear others if they also agree with Miriam or disagree with Miriam. Wisdom.
Okay, Prof. I do agree with Miriam in a sense that at the end of every session, you should know the impact and identify the gaps. So you're able to take that feedback into the formulation process, which is the beginning. So one would say that you should conduct an assessment and to identify the objectives before, designing the program. Yes, so after having the objectives set, the evaluation helps you to know whether you've been able to achieve that objective or not. If there's anything to do to make it better, then you do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Prof. So I agree with Miriam and Wisdom because it's through the evaluation that you'd be able to identify the strengths of the strengths and then the weaknesses of the organization. And then in that manner too, you try to find ways to develop on all of them. So I do agree with them.
Ahinakwa, I hope Ahinakwa is going to give a different answer.
Yes, madam. So I believe before the training starts, in the process, before, during, and then at the end, and even afterwards. Now, beginning, before we find out, before we know who we are training or who we are developing, we should know the potential of the person. For lack of a better word, we should know what the person is capable of, their strengths and weaknesses first. Then probably we design the type of training to fit the person. Now, during the training, at every point, we need to know whether the person understands what he's doing or not. So we assess the person during the training, during the process. Now, at the end, when everything is done, we evaluate the person based on what he has learned, so that we know, say, for instance,
we have a new English word, say. Let's go. Please proceed.
Chino. Sorry. So at the end too, we evaluate all we how do we say, we examine the person on everything he has done to know that he actually got it. After the whole thing, in the future, we still examine the person to know that the person is actually applying what they learned effectively. So we know that the whole process was actually effective or not.
Thank you. Yes. So, Yolanda, I will let you in, just a comment and then you come in. Yes. So, in actual fact, at every stage of the process, there should be an evaluation of some sort to see if the objective for that phase has been achieved. Then at the end of the process, you want to check, did I achieve my objective for the whole process or I did not. So we do the evaluation at each stage of the process. Yolanda.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So as you are, I'm setting you as example, Prof. Don't be offended. As like you are taking us through this leadership stage, you keep on asking, do you understand? It's a form of assessment and evaluating. So at the end of the session, you go write an exams. So that is when you have to be whether what you were teaching is whether you really got it or understood it or kind of. So I support what Ahinaka said. Thank you.
Thank you. A model that it's used for evaluating the Kirkpatrick model. 4 main stages. The slide said, okay, so, okay. Oh. So the first level is the reaction stage. So we have 4 main levels of evaluating training programs. And the first is the reaction stage. You start by capturing feedback from the participants. So, did they find the training engaging? Was it relevant to their role? And so, when this is done, it ensures that your leadership programs reflect with the leaders right from the beginning. The next is, let me assess what participants actually learned, right? Did they gain the knowledge and skills I aimed at giving to them? And this can be measured through quizzes. You can use assessments. You can use some activities. The next level is the behavior. You want to assess if whatever you did has really made a difference. They were not cutting the fish properly. Are they doing it well? And they can only do it because they have learned something. Are they now coming to work in time? Are they now polite to customers? And they are being polite because they have acquired that skill. They had learned that skill. And so there has been a change in behavior. Then the last is the results. So now you are going to connect the training back to the business outcomes. Are they being productive? And this level of evaluation helps you demonstrate the true value of the program that you embarked on. So now we want to look at this. I promise that we will not do any group work which I would grade. So definitely this I will not grade, but I would want us to take a look at that. But before then, we want to see that at the reaction stage, at the people start, how well did the participant like the whole learning process? So you are finding this out from them. Does the program provide any new information? Do participants intend to use what they have learned? So you are asking all these questions and the answers, and this can be done right immediately after the program. When you move to the learning, you want to find out what did they actually learn, as I have said already. have they acquired the skill that they need to apply when the need arises? Are they confident enough to apply that? You also want to find out whether they are actually going to apply it. Then we move to the third level, the behavior, the application and implementation of what they have learned. How effectively are participants applying what they have learned? Are they actually even applying it, and how effective is it? Was the change in performance a new level of the skills that they have acquired? Was it as a result of the training? And this is based on their comments. Then we want to find out finally if it connects with the business outcome. What are the tangible results of the learning process? Has there been a reduction in customers' complaints because now your employees are polite? Has there been a reduction in costs? Has there been improved quality? Or all these are part of the questions that you have to ask to ensure that you are evaluating the program appropriately. So now, the CEO of a retail company received many complaints about how her employees are poorly handling their customers. She decided to organize a 2-day workshop for its frontline staff on handling different customers. At the end of the training, participants were asked to complete feedback forms, and they rated the training as engaging and useful. In addition to this, a short quiz was organized, and at the end shows that 85% of staff can correctly identify techniques for de-escalating conflicts. 3 months later, supervisors and the CEO observed that staff are applying the techniques, leading to fewer escalations. During the mid-year review, a customer satisfaction survey showed customer satisfaction scored had arisen by 20%, and the complaints decreased significantly. So the question is, which evidence best demonstrates level 3, that is behavior? How might the organization strengthen its evaluation at level 2? And what challenges could arise in linking training outcomes to level 4? Now, I would want I'm going to put you into groups. And then this, as I said, we are not going to grade it. I'm not going to award marks, but doing it will be to your own advantage. So we have 21 people. We need only 3 groups. So 7 people in each group. 7 people in each group. And you try and work out something. So Ahinakwa, Collins, I haven't heard from you today. Don't think I'm not aware. Ahinakwa, you'll be the leader for room 1, Miriam for room 2, and then the third room, let me see, Wisdom is in room 2. Okay, so we will do Ayuba will be the leader for room 3. Okay. All right, so I'm creating this one. We will not keep long at all. So maximum 5 minutes, I'll close the rooms and then we will come back. I hope I'm clear.
Sure, madam.
Thank you. Please join. IT officer, you haven't joined. Isaac Obin. come back.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay. So we will take Ahinakwa, Miriam, and then Aiba. In that order. Hello. Okay, so Miriam, if you are ready, you can go, or Aiba. I can't hear you. Can I be heard?
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
All right. Any member in any of the
Yes,
groups?
can you hear me, Prof?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, please.
Please pardon me. Apologies. My network. I'm currently in Saudi Mecca performing Hajj. That is why their network is on and off.
You are
But I'll
where?
try my best. Mecca. I went to perform Hajj pilgrim.
Oh, then another
So the
person in
network
your
is on
group
and
can
off.
do that.
No, but I'll do it. I have it.
All right.
Yeah. So the strongest evidence of level 3
We thank you, Father. We
is that
praise you. We give you
three
glory
months
and
after
honor.
training,
Hallelujah. Father, in
supervisors
the name of
and the
Jesus.
CEO observe.
Hallelujah.
Please,
We
someone's
decree and
feedback.
declare that even
Mariam,
as
can
we
you
come in the
please
volume of
mute
the book, it is
yourself?
written of us, according to Psalm 143, verse 8 to 10. Let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
I've
Okay.
muted her.
Yeah, after studying the scenario, we've realized that the strongest evidence of level 3 is that 3 months after the training, supervisors and the CEO observed employees applying the conflict de-escalation techniques, resulting in fewer customer escalations. We also realized that the organization could strengthen level 2 evaluation by using additional methods such as pre and post training tests, role play, exercise simulations, or practical assessments. So looking at the second question, we realized after studying the scenario that using the quiz method, which is showing 85% of employees would identify de-escalation techniques, which provides more evidence of learning. However, learning involves more than remembering information. By comparing knowledge before and after training or assessing employees through role plays, the company can better measure whether participants have actually developed the skills and confidence needed to handle the customers. Lastly, we are looking at question 3, that it will be a long-term result, that after everything, the company will observe the outcome and the implementation of what they have acquired or what they have learned from the training given them. So it will take at most 3 months for the company to begin to see more results. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Let me hear from Ahinakwa then, since he is now back.
Madam, so with question 1, level 3, we are talking about behavior. So the best evidence for level 3 is that is that 3 months after the training, staff were actually using the customer service skills they learned. That shows that the training didn't just stay in the classroom. It actually changed how people behaved at work. That is in terms of the behavior. On the issue of learning, at level 2, which is learning, an exam could be conducted now to assess staff. Staff should be trained before and after. In that way, we can assess real improvements. We can also do simulations on how employees handle angry customers. That will show if they really understood the lessons and not just memorize the answers. On level 4, level 4 is about the final results. In this case, customer complaints dropped and service got better. That proves the training was worth the time and money. If we only looked at test scores, we wouldn't know if customers were actually happy. So at the end of the day, the training proved worth the time and money. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we done with all the groups? Yes, we are. Marian was not around, so we can still proceed. But at least, I guess we are seeing what we have done reflecting in this short scenario. So you will need to check all these in any training process to ensure that all the 4 levels of evaluation, so far as Kirkpatrick model is concerned, are addressed. Okay. Where we are looking at the first, the second, and the third levels, and the fourth, the reaction, the learning, the behavior, and the results. Okay. Any questions so far? Otherwise, we'll move to the second part of the topic. Wisdom.
Thank you very much, Prof. So with the Kirkpatrick's model, the first level was the reaction, where you indicated the timeline to be immediately after the training. I'd like to know the timeline for the others, as in the second, the third, and from the last one, I will assume that it would definitely be maybe some time after the training, from judging from even the scenario, that it wasn't immediately done after the training to achieve or to understand whether the results actually coincides with the business outcome. So for 2 and 3, I just wanted to understand what the timelines were. Is it that it should be done during the training or also after the training?
2 and 3 will be done. Okay, let me hear from others if anyone has a response to that. Okay, so 2 and 3, Marian, I've read your message. I think she sent it to everybody. 2 and 3 will also be done after the training. So those is the same order. The first one, maybe at the end of the training session, immediately at the end, maybe just before the closing remarks. Normally they do this, they pass papers round for evaluation of the whole training program. And that is the first one. The second one, maybe first, second, first week, and the third one follows. That is where you will see them actually using what has been done. And then the last one is after a period where, for example, if we are looking at a change in behavior, behavior can't be measured within a week or two, maybe 3-4 weeks. Then the last one, which may be maybe mid-year review, has it have any effect on, as you rightly said, that one you are clear, has there been improvement in customer complaints? But the second one, it can also be a questionnaire that you send round just to check the skills, the knowledge that they have gotten. So it can even be just a week or a week after the training. But the first one, it is immediately. It can even be, as I said, before the official closure of the training session. You just check a general response, a general understanding, getting a general level of satisfaction, a general reaction to the whole training program. And this is not limited to only the content. It can cover everything about the whole program, availability of resources, commitment of those who assisted, as well as the facilitator, the confidence, and everything. So the learner's reaction, their level of satisfaction. But the next one is about actually the content, the knowledge, the competencies, the skills that they have acquired. So even that one too can be done a week after that, or even immediately. But the third one, it takes a bit of time to see a change in their behavior, a change in the use of the skill. So as I think, who was it Naomi who said, or Esther, one of you, they are saying that when the employees are working, then somebody will say, no, and yes, sir, and this person taught us. That is the assessment of the behavior level. And then at the end, has this change in behavior have any impact on the number of customers? And that is the last one. So the first and the second are quite close. The third and the fourth are also relatively close. I don't know if I have answered your question. Wisdom, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. So just a follow-up. Would it suffice to say that based on what we are doing right now, as you're lecturing us, you're giving us some quizzes, you're asking us questions, and would it suffice to say that with learning, the timeline could also be during the training and then also after the training?
During the training, yes. So as we said early on, that evaluation is not only at the end of the training. So during the training, even right now, we have something we call concurrent. So you are doing it at the same time. Two things are the same. So even with the group work and the presentation, it's a way of finding out if you are gaining the knowledge, if you are learning something. And that can even be the second. But at the end of the semester, you see, at the end of the semester, when you do that evaluation, it comes back to the first level. It's about everything. So are you seeing how it can be? It can interchange. It's sometimes not very sequential, because if I really want it to be very sequential, then after the semester, at the end of the semester, you are given the opportunity to assess, evaluate Theresa. So that will be the first one. Then at the end of the semester, we examine you to check. That will be the second one. Then we go back to your workplace. Are you implementing what you learned? That will be the third stage. And then has that change in behavior, whatever you are doing, has it had any effect on your organization? That will be the fourth stage. So you are correct to make that submission.
Well understood, Prof. Thank you very much.
Very sure you understand. I haven't confused you the more.
I have clearly understood. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Wisdom. Okay, so we proceed from here. Okay, so we have some benefits. In fact, I would want whoever is sending the messages to please, if you have any. Well, we are Naomi, thank you. So we have the formative and we have the summative. This is also another way of classifying assessments. So that's another way of saying it. Thank you. So if you invest in leadership development, there are a number of benefits that you can get. And these are a few of them. And I would want people to pick any of them and explain how they understand it. And you can please move a bit fast. And anyone, pick any of them. Otherwise, I'll just run through. Pass one. All right. So if you develop the people, improvements in their enhancement in their leadership skills, and all these depends on the content of the training that you offered. So we are looking at somebody not having good communication skills, and at the end, she's offered some form of training, seminars, whatever it is, and the person is able to improve upon it. Getting the people well knowledgeable with the needed skills would ensure that you get people ready to take over when the need arises. Cultural transmission, attracting talents and retention, employee engagement, people being ready to give off their best when the need arises. Okay. What are some of the challenges that we are likely to encounter in our development? Our ability to identify the right person, it's usually one of the challenges that we are likely to encounter. How do I be convinced? There are different things that affect us in this stage, at this stage. Our individual biases. So it's sometimes a difficulty. Identify individuals who possess the potential to become effective leaders. And that this one is not a straightforward thing. You need to have the skills to be able to do this right. Another challenge is about measuring the effectiveness of the program. Traditional metrics such as participant satisfaction survey, completing certain ratings, sometimes don't provide the detailed information of the whole process. And so this becomes a challenge. But you can try to use a pre and post program assessment, which will help you identify the changes in the leader's competency and skills. And that will inform you to know how effective the training program has been. Again, we have the balancing the short-term needs with the long-term goals of the organization, which is also another major challenge. So one way of addressing this is that the organization should adopt a dual approach that addresses the immediate and future leadership needs. Then we would have sorted the short-term needs as well as the long-term goals of the organization. As you are all aware, few people would agree and accept change. People are usually comfortable with their space. And so, as we all know, in developing, there's a form of progression in what you have. You may be required to do certain things that are a bit different from the way you always do it. And so when this attempt is made, people may resist accepting these changes, and that can be a challenge. So employees may be hesitant to accept certain practices that, when implemented, would ensure that they are more effective. And that is a major challenge. But in all, as you may learn at another level, if you go through the right process and you adapt the appropriate mechanism, you'll be able to manage the change. Now, these are some of the future trends in leadership training. Now, people have come to accept, or people are beginning to accept, that we can't do without AI. The issue of virtual work and virtual teams, the need to accept diversity and ensure inclusion and equity, and issues of sustainability and ethical leadership have become very important. Now, this is what we're supposed to do. The benefits and challenges of leadership development to individuals and the organization as a whole. But that will be done later on. So we are moving to the other part of the topic, which is our skills and our competencies. So the skills are specific, they are learned abilities, which will enable leaders to perform specific tasks in a more effective manner. So leadership skills are task specific, where they are related to a particular activity that the leader performs. So communication skills apply to how you're able to communicate your task, how you're able to send information, decision-making skills. So these are task specific. We also have the fact that these skills, some of them are observable. So the leader demonstrates it and can be assessed. Then another characteristics of that, the leadership skills, is that you can develop your skills. You may be born with certain things, but then you can develop them, you can learn, and it can be measured. how proficient your skill is, and it can be transferred across contexts. So you can teach somebody. So mainly we believe that the leader needs the communication skills. The leader needs the decision-making skills. You need the problem-solving skills. You need the skill of delegation, conflict management, time management, conflict resolution. And all these are some of the skills that the leader needs. Our competencies are broader clusters. I mean, they are put together. The knowledge, the skills, our abilities, and behavior that enable the leader to be more effective in his roles. So integrative, role-related, they are behavioral, they are developable, and then organization-specific. And these are the characteristics of our competencies. So what are the effective, when we talk about effective skill development, we want to know that they are targeted training, focused on learning specific skills gap. They are deliberate practices. They are on-the-job application, progress management. Whilst that of the competency in competency development, we are looking at I'm talking about how competencies can be developed. Experiential learning. Experience develops competencies most powerfully. So do it and you get it right. We're also interested in integrated development, which will help address knowledge, skills, and behavior together. The use of multiple methods and the opportunity to have a reflection and learning, which involves processing experiences to extract learning. You reflect and you make meaning out of it. So these are what it means, what it involves to develop one's competencies. Now, this categorization of competencies is based on literature, where it says there are three categorization of competencies. Behavioral competencies, which is an expression of the softer skills. Then technical competencies, your ability to use the hard skills systems. And then the leadership competencies that we are looking at today. That is an expression of the qualities that make a good leader. So what are these? According to literature, specifically the Society of Human Resource Management, these competencies may vary between roles. However, there are some that is essential for all leaders, regardless of who you are or the organization you work with. So SHRM has also put these leadership competencies into 3 major categories. And you need all the 3 to be effective. So competencies for leading the organization, competencies for leading others, and competencies for leading yourself. So you need a category of competencies that will help you lead the whole organization. You need a category of competencies that will help you lead others. And you need category of competencies that would help you lead yourself. And that is what has been put out here. So when we talk about competencies for leading the organization, we are looking at social intelligence, problem solving, among all those. We'll just go through them briefly and then we move on from there. So social intelligence, which is one of the competencies required. Now, at the end of the session, it is for you to look at these competencies that we are discussing. It's for you to check which of these am I well endowed in, and which of these do I need to work on? So social intelligence is about our awareness of different social situations and different social dynamics, as well as our own interaction with others in those settings, which is similar to our emotional intelligence. While this emphasizes on social situations, our emotions will come up in the emotional intelligence. And our social intelligence has been identified as one of the predictors of effective leadership because you deal with people. So if you are strong, so far as our social intelligence is concerned, you know when to talk and when to listen because you are able to assess the social situation to work on it. How do I develop my social intelligence? All these are some of the ways. So first, I need to be an effective and an active listener. To be an active listener, you need to practice listening. So I want to find out from you, what would you do to let somebody know that you are actively listening? What do you expect, or from the other's perspective, what do you expect others to do for you to know that they are actively listening? Ahinakwa.
So, Madam, I'll even use our normal relationships, for example. Usually, when your partner comes to you and they are talking about an issue, sometimes what you do is that if you are emotionally intelligent and you listen well, what you do is that you listen to the person from beginning to end. without interrupting and without any criticism. Sometimes someone comes to you with a problem and they are even the problem, or they've gone to do something bad and they are coming to you. A good listener will take their time, listen word to word, not criticize, not judge, and then at the end of it all, will come up with an objective way, not any subjective way. Because let's say, for instance, a friend comes to you, and maybe your female friend comes to you, and she tells you, for example, she made a mistake with a guy. And then you just jump to conclusion, oh no, you are cheap, you are cheap, you are cheap. That's not the best. I mean, first of all, you let her lose confidence in herself, and even approaching anybody with a problem, you kill her self-confidence first. So what you do is at least you listen. Even with your Christian background, you want to judge her and order. You don't do that. You have to be objective in such a way that you don't use any of your subjective biases to judge what she's saying. So you listen to her on a subjective level, and then you approach whatever she brought with a subjective mind. Subjective meaning that you are not dealing with any bias or any of your values or any of your truths or what you think is best. But generally, you assess the situation and then talk to the person, even physically in a soft voice, other than maybe an angry voice or criticizing voice. So that's what an intelligent listener is to me.
Thank you. Miriam, so Ahinakwa has talked about not being judgmental, being objective, and not criticizing as a way to show that you are an active listener. Let's hear the others and then I can make my comments. Yes.
Okay, Madam, please, thank you. The little I'm also adding up is for me to know that you are an active listener, I'll take key notice of your body gestures, whereby the eye contact, the body movement, whether if I'm talking to you, you are listening or you are not. The body gestures will also allow me to know whether you are an active listener or not. So that's a little I want to add, that the body gestures is what you need to consider.
Okay. So key, the gestures play a very significant role. So in as much as I agree to a point with Ahinakwa, when I do this, it will allow the person to talk where I'm not being judgmental. And I can only do this, especially like the criticism, if I am listening properly. So to be a good listener, to be an active listener, I need to allow others to talk without interrupting them. I need to pay attention to their words. And as Miriam talked about, I also need to observe their gestures, all the nonverbal cues that they are giving me. I need to observe, pay attention to the words, pay attention to the tone, pay attention to their body language. Again, I need to show empathy, which we are going to talk about later. So in being empathetic, I'm using more of the word like, I understand how you feel. I understand. And that would help. The next, how to develop social skills, is to build emotional intelligence. I'm skipping this because emotional intelligence is one of the topics that will be treated. Again, to develop social skills, the leader needs to improve upon his communication skills. Ensure you speak clearly and more of open-minded open-ended questions. Patience is key. Practice patience, practice empathy and compassion. Build trust, and through that, it will enhance relationship management. Again, seek for feedback, and when it is given you, process it, reflect on it, and get yourself involved in social activities. Participate in group activities. When organizations are going out, when employees in an organization are going to be part, if you are able, all these would help you ensure that you develop your social skills. Another competency that is required for leading an organization is problem-solving competencies. A competent leader will usually test multiple options to see how viable each one is and only present it once they are confident that it would help. Decision-making is a key competence that every person needs to be a good leader. You know when to make a decision alone, when to consult your subordinates or your other team members to get their opinion on whatever is being discussed, and then also when to take a step back and allow others to decide. So if you are competent, so far as decision-making is concerned, you'll be reflecting all these. And then the last is conflict management. You can't avoid conflict, but you can always manage conflict. So conflict is inevitable in any organization. When you are dealing with people with different personalities, with different backgrounds. But leaders who are competent in this are able to reduce it and also to manage it. Now, to improve upon your conflict management skills, you have to learn to sense any danger and make sure your fellow workers know you are ready to welcome them and listen to their complaints. When this is done, it helps reduce the level of conflict. Again, you can share your vision and ensure that where there's a need for change, you are able to manage the change very well. The next thing that we will look at is competencies for leading others. Now we are done with competencies for leading an organization. To be able to lead others, you need to be emotionally intelligent. Have knowledge about your emotions. You have the ability to understand people's emotions and their emotional situations. you also have the capacity to understand and manage your own emotions. And when this is done, both, you can confidently talk about you being emotionally intelligent. Another that is required is interpersonal skills. You are dealing with different people at different times. So you need that people skills or that soft skills, which include treating people with sensitivity and respect. If you have these skills, you are able to do that. And again, you should know that those skills are crucial in maintaining positive team relationship. That is why you need it to be able to lead others. Communication, you realize, runs through almost all the three. Trust, trust, trust. It takes a long time to build trust. It takes just one action to destroy trust, to erode all the trust that people have for you. So you need to be conscious to ensure that you keep to your word so people would trust you. People operate, the reason why you need this competency is that people normally operate based on established trust between themselves and their employees, their customers, and their employers. So if people don't trust you, it would affect what they do and how they do it. Now, I have been talking for long. What would you do for people to trust you? And the flip side is, what would somebody do for you to trust the person? Any comments? Any contribution? Ahinakwa.
Yes, madam, for me, I'll take integrity. I think integrity will go with honesty. Integrity usually is something that you do when you are not being assessed or observed. So
Okay.
when there's no camera on you, that kind of behavior, that is what I believe is integrous. So let's say for that, I have given this example before. Maybe some money is they put some money somewhere. There's no one there. Someone is testing you, but you don't know. There's no one there. You are free to take the money. And actually, probably no one can even come and ask you for anything because there's no one there to witness it. But you wouldn't take it. You wouldn't take it. And integrous who goes to talk about how diligent you do your work without you expecting anything in return. So it's like a selfless act, you having clear conscience, and then executing actions that are right in themselves and not because you are doing it for any appraisal or for any reward. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Integrity
Any
is
other?
yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Ahinakwa. Any other? So if you tend to follow through your promises, also it will help you develop trust and accepting your mistakes and prioritizing honesty in your relationship with others. Ahinakwa talked about integrity, integrity, integrity. The next competencies that is required for leading others is inclusiveness. Create that environment where everybody feels welcome. Such leaders would ensure that every employee is treated equally and respectfully. And we all have the opportunity to share our ideas. So research shows that inclusive leaders share these skills. Very empathetic. They are very empathetic, they are open-minded, they listen, very reflective of issues and very ready to collaborate. So that is people who tend to exhibit this inclusiveness characteristic. Then we are into competencies for leading yourself. You yourself, be ready to learn. Look at the environment and be ready to learn, to unlearn, and relearn, because the environment is changing. There's a continual changes going on. So we are talking about to be able to lead yourself and be able to impact on others. There should be that agility where you are ready to learn, you are ready to unlearn, and you are ready to relearn. To be able to lead yourself, you need to be able to manage yourself. Now, managing oneself include your emotions, your schedules, your workload. And you can only manage yourself effectively if you are able to manage yourself. We have our own way of doing things. But if you are able to plan ahead and know how to prioritize what has to be done, you can succeed. You need self-discipline, controlling any natural tendencies to act out of anger, act out of greed, or act out of selfishness. And you can only improve upon your self-discipline by making yourself aware of how your decisions affect others, how choosing to prioritize the needs of others over that of yours is better, and also managing your time very well is another one. To be able to lead yourself, you need to be courageous. You need to stand by your values, the things that you see as important. Stand by them. Stand by your team and defend them where necessary. When this is done, you are likely to succeed. So now we have looked at the competencies required to lead an organization, those required to lead others, and those required to lead yourself. So we will look at this scenario. An organization is restructuring, and employees are anxious about job security. A manager must communicate the high changes, maintain trust, and keep productivity high. We want to find out the competencies needed to lead effectively during this uncertainty, and how communication skills, let's forget about the emotional intelligence because we haven't discussed much on that. How communication skills can reduce resistance. So we'll go back, and this you would also present, and as I said, I'm not grading, but tell me which of the competencies that are required for effective management during this uncertainty. Now, I'll give you 5 minutes. Come clear on 2 competencies required and why. We are looking at only the first question. The next one you will do at your own convenience. So we have 19 people currently. We are still using the same group. This time, group 1 will be led by Collins. Group 2 will be led by Wisdom. And room 3 will be led by Esther. So I'm creating the rooms again, and you go and come back in 5 minutes. Okay.
We are back to the main group.
Yes, you are back again. You are back. Some people didn't join. Some people didn't join. Collins, how many people did you have in your room?
Me, I went off.
How many people took part in the work?
See that.
About six. Yeah, 6 people.
But not everybody did.
Everybody took part in it. Actively took part.
Wisdom, how many people were in your room?
Prof, we were 4, and everybody
Was
contributed.
Who didn't join?
I wouldn't be able to tell. The people who joined were Naomi, Isaac.
Isaac did not join.
Isaac was part. Isaac was in the group. Robert was in the group. Naomi was in the group, and myself.
Then it was Alice who didn't join. Okay.
Alice actually sent a message that she wasn't well, so I wouldn't know if that's the reason she couldn't join.
A very good classmate trying to cover up. It's normal. That's okay. And then Esther,
Yes, Prof.
how many people who took part in the work?
Prof, I think all of us, myself, Baba, Ahenakwa was there. Hey, please mention your name. So we all did.
You were not there.
Madam, we all did,
Someone was not there. Mohammed
No.
was not there.
No, Ayuba was there, madam.
Ayuba
I'm
was
saying
here.
Mohammed.
Madam,
Ayuba was with
there,
us.
please.
Yeah.
I'm saying Mohammed.
We don't have
We
Mohammed.
don't have any
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Madam,
But
Prof.
there's somebody called
Yeah,
Kalsum.
Prof. Yeah, Prof. With like
Kalsum.
yeah, Omo says she's having an issue with the sound, so she can't hear whatever is going on.
So then he should log out, because if he can't hear the first group where I'm observing, the first group where he didn't take part.
Yeah,
And this one too, he didn't take part.
Yeah, she told me she's having issue with her sound. She can't hear anything.
We can proceed. Let's proceed with this, and then we can call it a day. So, Collins.
Yes, Prof. Yeah. Okay, so Prof, so to take the question 1, what competencies are needed to lead effectively during uncertainty? So to lead effectively during uncertainty, the manager needs some key competency skills, which are good communication, emotional intelligence, trust building, adaptability, and decision-making skills. So let's take the good communication skills. The manager must clearly explain what is happening, the situation that we are in, what kind of changes that is bringing, what is yet to be known, or what is already known. This helps reduce the rumors and fear among the employees or the staff. For the emotional intelligence, the manager should understand that employees are stressed, they are confused, they are feared during this uncertainty or situation, and able to motivate them. The manager has to respond calmly and respectfully. And also, we take the trust building. The manager must be honest and fair and consistency with the employees. When the employees trust the manager, they'll feel more secure than more secure than motivated during this uncertainty or situation. And let's take the adaptability. Since things are changing, the manager must be able to adjust plans or some changes to quickly and guide them to fix the situation that we are in throughout to a new situations. And also, I'll take the decision-making skills. For the decision-making skills, the manager must make clear and timely decisions, even when the information is a bit incomplete or without confidence, and explain the reason behind them. So, as a good leader during this uncertainty, communication must be clear. It must also shows empathy. It must also build trust, so that the employees can trust you and adapt to these changes and make a strong decision to keep the team more focused and productive. Yeah, Prof. I think that's so, Prof. Thank you.
All right. This work is intentional, so please take it serious. We'll take Wisdom's group.
All right, thank you very much, Prof. So the competencies that we picked, I think Colin spoke about some. I will talk about the others. But in all, we highlighted effective communication, conflict management, inclusivity, trustworthiness, interpersonal relation, empathetic, and then emotional intelligence. So
Okay.
we realize that the question was saying that the manager must communicate the change, maintain trust, and then keep productivity. So to do this, the manager must be emotionally intelligent, that's having the ability to understand the employees, and then also having the capacity to manage their emotions or reactions towards the change that is being communicated. And that manager must also be very empathetic so that they are also able to understand them in terms of any form of resistance to the change. It helps build that kind of trust in the employees so that they're able to give feedback with regards to any form of concerns that they have. And when it comes to communication, the manager must be able to communicate very clearly and effectively the purpose of the change or the restructuring and what it stands to benefit the employees in the end. Manager must also be trustworthy in that they must have some level of integrity so that whatever they're communicating to the employees, they are able to accept them without wavering. And then when it comes to inclusivity, it helps to maintain that trust because that manager is able to create that environment where everybody feels welcome. And that also helps in keeping the productivity very high because any concerns they have, they know they have the manager around them, which is a form of intrinsic motivation for them as well. And then when it comes to conflict management, this is where the manager is able to sort of navigate, the personalities and then the beliefs and then the moods that the people may have after the restructuring is being communicated to them so that they're able to manage or mitigate any potential conflict that may arise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well presented. I'll take the last group, Esther.
So, with group three, just like my colleagues have already talked about, we also saw the need for communication skills. The manager is supposed to have that good communication skills so that he or she can be able to explain very well what the change is all about for the people to understand the need for the restructuring. And he or she is supposed to do a lot of updates. It's not like you've done it just one time and then that's it. You need to be giving them frequent updates on what's going on. The manager is also supposed to have a good decision making. When in situations like this, you need to have a sound judgment because the people you are working with are not certain of the change. And when this happens, in a way, it can stall productivity. Work can slow down because people are not sure of what is happening. So when you're a manager, you're supposed to have that good decision making, make a firm decision so that, and it has to be done timely so that productivity doesn't slow down. We also talked about trustworthiness. If your people trust you, they're able to build that confidence. So all that you are saying, they understand you, and then work will go on. In a way, when they also trust you, your anxiety level comes down because when I know that my manager is trustworthy, whatever he's saying, I believe in that person. I know that that person will take us to a good end. And in situations like this, when people are anxious, it becomes very difficult for them to adapt to change. So a manager in this sense needs to be able to manage conflicts when issues like that arises. So the need to have that conflict management is very, very important. And just like Wisdom also talked about emotional intelligence, it is important. For me, I think that the manager is not supposed to be too much sympathetic, because when you show a lot of sympathy, it doesn't help you with your judgment. So being empathetic is important rather than being too sympathetic of them. Because when you have that empathy, you put them in your shoes, and you don't do how do I put it? You don't go above it or below. You should be in between, understand the situation, and then you get work to go on. Is that what we have for book 3?
Yes, you've done very well. Done very well. So I'm assuming that if this comes across at any point in time, you'll be able to, not necessarily the same, but then such scenarios where you need to
Thank you.
identify the kind of competencies required and make a justification for it. But in maybe you'll be required to indicate which category, because we are looking at competencies for leading the organization, competencies for leading others, and then competencies for leading yourself. So in each, which of them are you picking and why, which has been done very well. So for today, we have looked at leadership competencies and leadership development. Oh dear, yes. We have looked at leadership development and competency management. We've looked at what leadership development is all about. We have also looked at the competencies that are required and when it's required. So I'll end my talking for today, and I would want to find out if anyone has a question for me. If not, I'll end and then you continue with the assignment. Some people have submitted, and know that as you submit it after the deadline, it goes with some penalties. So just keep that in mind. And I hope the next assignment will be ready on time and for submission. Any question, any clarification? Otherwise, may I be permitted to end the class or leave the class rather, because I am not ending it. Yes. All right. Wisdom, you have an assignment to do, so please make sure it's done. Hello. I could hear somebody talking. Yes.
Yes, it's Ayuba. Yeah, Prof, apologies. It's very unfortunate. My network where I am in Saudi, we are using wireless. It does goes off.
Okay.
And last 3 days was the Eid al-Adha and the peak of the program activities. That is why sometimes when I even joined, over 3 million people, the noise at the background doesn't permit me to open my mic to do contributions. So I sincerely apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. When you come back and we have a good connection, you come and educate us on all that goes on when you go for Hajj, and then everything about it. Okay. So who is ready? Wisdom, you are my assistant, right?
Yes,
Alice
for today.
is not okay. So please take the names for me. Frederick Esiama, Miriam, Wisdom. Okay, so let me categorize it. Mariam, Wisdom, Ahinakwa, Baba, they get an Esther 1.5 each. And then Frederick, Naomi, Ayuba, Esther, Alice, Robert, Rosemary, Yolanda. They get 1 mark each. All right. So on that note, I'll leave the class and you use the rest of my time to do my assignment and read around. I'll be happy a WhatsApp is sent in the next 30 minutes so that the rest of the slides and the model will be shared with you. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day as you get ready for the next class.
Hello, Prof.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank
I think
you.
someone has a question, Prof.
Hello.
Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof.
Yes, Isaac, please speak up. We can hear you.
Please, madam, I heard you mentioning some
Wisdom,
names.
would I be okay if I don't allow Isaac to talk?
Madam,
Well,
please kindly
he
hear
has a
him out.
peculiar problem. His
So he
phone was
can't raise up
actually,
his hand eh?
I should think so. He's having some
All right.
challenges.
All
So
right.
let's permit him for today.
In fact, Wisdom, if I need whatever, I'll come and I will appoint you because I can be sure I will always have your back. Isaac, please go ahead.
Madam, forgive me. I was saying that I heard you mentioning some names, but I'm also facing some challenge here in Fusu. But I never heard my name when you were mentioning some names. Or
Wisdom, unfortunately, I can't hear him very well. I can hear he heard me mentioning some names. Wisdom,
That
please,
is
did you hear him?
rightly so, Prof. I assumed that he was trying to say in the names that you were mentioning, he did not hear his name. So to assume that he was expecting to have received some marks for participation.
Okay, because I didn't hear him answer any question. And as you rightly said, participation. Yolanda, I mentioned your name.
No, Prof, because I want Isaac to have a marks, I wanted to ask him a question so that he will answer and maybe you might give him some marks.
I will not permit that because it is not the answers from students that informed my allocation of marks. It was the response, how, some people even had 1.5 and others had, actually, those who had 1 should have had half. But I just decided I'll do 1. It's not just a matter of if it was during the class that you asked the question and he responded, unless he has a unique issue that I don't want it to be shared here. I'm okay when after the class Wisdom talks to me about it, then I can consider. But as it stands now, it is what it is. So Wisdom,
Well noted,
if you have
Prof.
any, you can just share with me after the class.
Very well, Prof.
Which
I'll do
I'm
that.
ready to listen.
I'll do
Okay.
that. Thank you, Prof.
All right. So Isaac, you've been taken care of by your class rep Wisdom. Okay. All right. So on that note, Wisdom, whatever you have put together, please make sure you add it to what we already have. Half one would accumulate to something. Yolanda, you don't want to go and get ready for the next class. Please go ahead.
Prof, I wanted to find out that the group assignment, are we supposed to submit it on the 30th or like 2 weeks from the day
30th of what?
May?
That is today.
Yes, please. Or the
Or
2 weeks 2 weeks from the day the class rep posted the question on the group in the group.
I don't know when, because I gave it to, and I said on the day, from the day the assignment is given. So I don't know when she decided to post the
Yeah, she
questions.
posted it on the 18th.
That's Monday.
On the 18th of May. That was last
Yes,
week.
that was last week, Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
So instead of today, you want the deadline to be Monday.
No,
No
madam, I am
problem.
asking you.
Yes, Madam, Prof, if I
Wait.
may, that is rightly so.
Wisdom, please go
So
ahead.
the group work was shared on the 18th, which means that the deadline should be first if we are aligning with the 2 weeks.
Sure.
Thank
All
you.
right. I guess we are all on the same page, so we can end today's class.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Yolanda, are you okay?
Weekend.
Prof, you're a good listener.
Prof, please,
All right.
I'm not feeling well.
All right. You are healed there.
I'll
I
pray for
wish you
her.
a speedy
I'll pray
recovery.
for her.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Can I leave?
Permission granted, Prof.
Thank you very
Miss
much, sir.
you.
Enjoy your weekend.
Isaac.
Hello.
Isaac,
Hello. Hello.
call me, okay?
Okay. Please, who is this? Forgive me. I'm using some. Hello.
Isaac,
Yeah, the name. The name.
it's me, Alice. Call me.
Oh, Alice. Alice. Okay. I learned you are sick and you don't feel fine.
Isaac, it's not me, it's Yolanda. Why, please?
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Thank you.